What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome to the Gino Thanks. Not much. What's up? What's up? This has been a crazy fucking week, right?
Yeah, man. America.
Because we do this on Sundays, and the debate was like on Tuesday, and I was like, oh shit, we're gonna be way late. But then all this other shit happened.
Nope, we're good. The debate is last year, literally.
Exactly.
2020 has been like an entire decade. No
Definitely.
bullshit.
It's I saw a meme. It's like it's not October 1st. It's March 271 or something.
That's the truth. That's true. Now, what a week though, man. Like, I've been really like torn between like what to do as far as where to put my attention and everything, because there's just so much shit that's just convoluting the airwaves of everything. That you can't even like focus on personal things a lot of the time. So like, I think I speak for like most Americans in viewing and participating in the social commentary and watching and viewing and knowing what's going on politically. It's just been exhausting as fuck, and everybody is a little bit tired, and I don't think anybody's winning right now. None of us are winning. So but yeah, man, like, I guess on Tuesday, what did you think about that debate? The biggest roast battle of all time.
That's what I'm saying. I saw a lot of the other people's reviews, and a lot of people seem to think that I saw that one meme where Joe Biden was like the Eminem at 8 Mile.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like
amazing.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But is that to say the general consensus is that Joe Biden like won the debate?
I think Trump lost the debate. I don't think Biden won. I think Trump lost it.
I thought Trump won, basically.
Well, because you can that's a fair argument. I don't you're not wrong if you believe that. I think what a lot of people were looking at was to see if Biden was coherent, like if he could literally like have an actual debate, an argument, come together, put actual sentences and put his plan out there. And he played into Trump's game a little bit. We knew he was gonna talk over Biden. We knew he was gonna get personal with him, with his family and all that stuff. And like, it's just like very on brand for Trump to do that. So I think I wasn't surprised by what Trump was doing, tactic wise. I think, but Biden held his own, and he wasn't like freed up, and he kind of got to play the hero to the bad guy, to the bully.
That's why I didn't like. Like, he kept on talking to the camera, like
it was very scripted.
He wanted it to be like a speech. Like,
he was scripted. He was on point. He had a lot of like preparation for this shit. Like, it was very clear. And that's not to say that's bad, but I mean, like, when you come off scripted like that, it doesn't seem as genuine. But he held his own with Trump. I mean, like,
definitely. This is the most coherent he's been. And
exactly. Exactly. And I think that's what people wanted to see, is like, is the person actually like just capable? Because like, we know what Trump is. We understand what he is. And like, not for nothing, that the way Trump is, he's changed the way debates are going to be forever, if they ever are a thing again. They already changed the format for the next one, if that was going to be a thing. But obviously, certain things have happened that probably will prevent that.
That's what I'm saying. Is it going to be on a Zoom call or something?
I don't know that he'll debate if he's in the current condition he's in.
He said he didn't plan on making any changes to his schedule or whatever, right? That's what I thought.
I mean,
he said he plans to continue to do it, or I don't know if he meant the debate specifically or just his other shit he does.
I couldn't fathom him wanting to debate with people if he had the virus and stuff, and I think he would lose a lot of support in the irresponsibility of that optic. That would be insane. You know what I'm saying? To see somebody like debating on the national stage while he actually has COVID.
No, that's why I meant. That's why I said, is he doing it on Zoom? Like,
if he does it on a Zoom, he'll get smashed because people would just mute his ass.
They were talking about muting people anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I thought that's why I think I don't know. I think it's weird how the timing of it all just sounds a little too weird.
It's a reality series, man.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, it is a reality series, but even more so than that, I feel like it's more of a. It's like they just choose who gets it. Like they can pick, they decide. That's how I feel.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think now more than ever, and this is not like a call to action or anything. I think everybody's vote matters more than ever this time, because like we get to see how much you know social media and how much news and just this our American culture is. Been changed because of the person who's in office right now, and I think when everybody has knowledge of that and you don't like it, you kind of have that's what you got to do. You got to get that out of there. I mean, it's not. I don't think at this point it's the lesser of two evils. It's more of how do you want your country to be for the next 4 years. I mean, if you're okay with how it is now, then you shouldn't do anything about it. But at the end of the day, if you don't like how it is, you should do something about it. You know?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, first of all, if you want to see like a real roast session, listen to my last episode, because my two guests were like going in on me for saying I wasn't gonna vote.
Yeah. So how do you feel? Do you not want to vote? I mean, like I saw the candidates just like you. And to be honest, I'm not mad at people for not wanting to vote based off of that shit, because that's terrible. It's like we get to choose from the leftovers after everybody had a main course in seconds. You know, like it's like the real like scraping of the pan selection, and like how did we get here? So like I get why people wouldn't want to vote. Are you still like on that fence, or you not going to vote?
I mean, the reason why I'm not going to vote is this. It's like the whole thing is, the biggest news from the debate, I feel like, was, Trump didn't denounce white supremacy on stage. But at the same time, I feel like
Were you
Joe
surprised?
Biden. No, exactly. I wasn't. Yeah. I was surprised that Joe Biden was saying he was supporting law and order. I feel like that's like kind of that's a similar thing, right? Because
I think Joe Biden, in that sense, he fucked up because he didn't take a stance at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, he just like was like, I support this, but I also support this, so whatever. It wasn't like a stand, like, and then Trump said and it was real nuanced and everything, but right after he said that, and he said that shit about Bernie, Trump said you just lost the left and everything, and like that's like, man, I don't know, man. Like it was a shit show.
I feel like they're saying the same thing. Just like how, Trump had his support for the Proud Boys or whatever. I feel like Joe Biden's Proud Boys are the cops.
You think so?
I mean, I feel like they're not trying to make it seem that way, but that's why I really don't know a lot about Kamala Harris, and I'm really excited to see the debate with her. Because I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't know much about her other than she used to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? So that itself was a little suspicious.
Right. And that's we need to audit everybody, man. Bless you. We need to audit everyone who's going to be in these positions of power. We need to check them for their past and everything. And they need to, talk about it. I think that's good. Like everybody should be audited about their past and stuff. And I'm very interested to see a much more coherent debate between what I think are much more contemporary human beings in general, between Kamala Harris and and Pence.
I don't even know much about Pence. Does he ever? I've never heard him speak on anything.
I'm excited to hear about him. I honestly don't know a lot about him. But like you said you weren't going to vote because of you saw that he wouldn't denounce white supremacy, but you also saw that Biden was just complicit with law and order and the cops and everything. So it's kind of they're on the same side but saying a different thing.
No, I mean I feel like that just reinforced my idea that the two parties are really the same party, making it seem like that making it seem like we have a choice when really
Sure.
like, they're for the same team, and they're kind of just trying to keep the other independent parties down.
Okay.
I did mention on the last episode too that I was for like the Libertarian Party because I have heard a lot of good things about George Jorgensen, but I'm not voting for her either. And I know that there are problems with the Libertarian Party. I just want to clarify that now. But that's why I don't even want to choose. I heard from because my friend is actually from Peru, and he told me that how they do their elections in Peru is they have, they might have like 4 candidates, and then when they vote, if no candidate gets at least 50% of the votes, like one could get 49%, and then the other 3 will get like, I don't know, I can't do the math. You get what I'm saying? But unless it's 50%, they're gonna eliminate the other 2, and then they're gonna have another election.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
How come we don't have a system like that where we can get more representation for the independent parties? That's why I'm not voting, because I'm boycotting the 2-party system.
Okay. I mean, fair. Look, it's very, very clear that the 2-party system has not been, beneficial for everybody in the United States. We can very plainly see that. Like one party, I mean, maybe it's under the guise that even one type of person has been successful or benefited from the party system, but it's clear that it hasn't worked for everyone so far. And I'm not mad at you for that. I think in a more surface level, I don't want Trump to be the leader for the next 4 years. And that's just looking in a small window of what needs to happen. Like now, like what you're saying is absolutely correct. Just on my priority list, it's way more down than what's at stake for the next 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. Go ahead. Sorry.
What I'm trying to say is like it's like the example that you gave where you thought that you were doing something good by voting for like inmates or past inmates to be able to vote, and then it turned out to be like a bad thing, right?
Sure.
So from what I understand, it's like it seems like a lot of what I don't know what exactly do you mean by like what issues are on the fence for you? Like
as far as what I'm voting, I want to vote my interests, but I also want to vote what will benefit what I see as like my children, like the coming up of the next generation. I think the president, being the most powerful person literally in the world and the most visible person in the world, it's more than just what the executive orders are, which he signed a record amount of them, like very, very fast, that changed a lot of different things, very nuanced shit from from things as little as like now managers at restaurants can opt to keep portions of servers' tips if they want to and lawfully. Just small things like that, but like almost at the rate of like 100 in a year. You know what I'm saying? Like things that very, very systemically change the country. And that's a erratic behavior based off of a business mindset. If you want to run the United States as a business, Trump is the very good person to do that, because if you want to have a successful business, the business model is to be not empathetic to the lowest common denominator and thing that doesn't really value. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of residually what all this is. Like the people who are successful are getting bread and getting good, and the people, it's just widening the wealth gap and widening the gap of equality culturally as well, because he's a very cutthroat individual, and that's kind of what it is. I don't want that in the short term. I can't have that kind of mindset moving forward for another 4 years, because if he gets in another 4 years, I don't think he'll get out. And I think it'll start to be an oligarchy. It'll be starting to pass power down and type shit, because we've already seen some of these things he's able to do in a very short amount of time.
How have people not passed power down before? I mean, there were multiple Bushes that were in office, I feel like this reminds me of that. I feel like later on, Donald Trump Jr. is definitely gonna run for president, and it's gonna be like Bush again, like our Bush Jr.
I think that if Donald Trump Sr. is not already dead, Donald Trump Jr. will undoubtedly run for president the next term if Donald Trump wins again. If Donald Trump Sr. wins again, the next president after him will be his son. If it's not him already, he might. It's not
going to be like that. You know, it's. I've noticed a pattern. Like it's all. They always switch off. Like Clinton.
Donald Trump was not a politician, bro. He wasn't supposed to be president, bro. And that's the thing. Like the whole game is fucked up now, and it's like it's.
And honestly, like the whole game needs to get fucked up because the system doesn't work. That's how you know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. But
you're showing a lot. Go ahead.
I do want to backtrack a little bit and talk about what you were talking about, like employers being able to take away from their tips. Is that from the tax deferral?
No, that's
that's different.
Yeah, that's a entirely different thing. So check it out here. I'll look it up in the meantime. But yeah.
Did you hear about the tax deferral though? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like I'm benefiting hardcore from that. But guess what? I'm going to have to pay that back next year, all year next year, regardless of how the economy is.
I don't understand why they're doing it. I don't get it. Just to give people more money because they didn't do the stimulus check? Is that why? Or
not even because they didn't do the stimulus check. It's if you're employed, they're basically taking out the federal income tax. Which is the federal income tax, which
I thought it was Social Security.
Or excuse me, yes, you're absolutely correct. It's the Social Security tax, which it's the lowest part of your tax that gets taken out aside from any kind of medical insurance or whatever. But I'm getting paid. I get paid weekly and everything, and I get more or less an extra $70 to $80. So it helps. I benefit from it. I recognize it immediately and stuff. I'm going to have to pay that stuff back next year, regardless of what's going on in our lives or in the economy and stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I also wanted to find. Do you know if it's like you're actually paying back exactly what you owe for this year, or are they just going to double the percentage of the tax they take out for the first 4 months next year?
I think they're going to double the tax that they take out for the next 4 months. That
makes zero sense because obviously you're not making as much money now. Everything is still half shut down. Well, I don't know, not in Florida, I guess. And then when everything starts, it is. Well, I don't know. For any other place, I feel like it makes no sense because you're only gaining a little bit of money.
Don't quote me on that. It might be over a year span that they take out the tax for what.
No, I just read up on it recently, and I saw that it was
4 months.
4 months, yeah.
Wow.
Before the tax, when taxes are due next year, it should be done. But I'm just saying, I don't understand. Would you, if you could, did you have the option to opt out for it?
No.
If you didn't, oh, really? I thought that they were letting people.
No, I didn't have an option for it. I would not have taken it. In hindsight, like I said, I'm benefiting from it. I'm not mad at being able to, have that extra money for, a month. It adds up. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to pay that back regardless. And I did not have a choice in it. And I wasn't sent a letter. I wasn't the employers didn't contact me and stuff. And that's not on them.
Did it automatically?
It just did it automatically. Yeah. Oh. That was part of his immediate. It was part of an immediate stimulus plan that Trump implemented in lieu of the PPE running out. So people who can get unemployment now, I guess are getting $400, and the people who are in work that's what you were talking about, right? I'm
still confused as to how that helps.
I don't know.
How does that help? It helps the people, the individual people getting more money. I see that, but
no, it does. But it's an unsolicited loan that you're going to have to take out. Basically. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm saving now. That's all I can do.
Do you do your own taxes and stuff? Do you know how to do all that?
Yeah, I do.
I need to
And
learn how to do that shit.
It's actually pretty dope to like learn certain things that you can do. I'm an LLC now, so like there's a lot of things you can write off and everything as far as what is a deemed as part as a business expense and everything. Like just from basic living expenses and needs and everything. It's pretty lucrative, and to go off of that, that is, a byproduct of some of the things that Obama's administration passed, which allowed President Trump to be able to pay $750 in in what was it, federal income tax. Everything
See what
was a
I'm saying?
business
They're
expense.
working together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you make a good point. I understand that, and that's like, but again, that's who benefits from that. I benefited from that. I did. Like I benefited from being able to pay less taxes.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's what it comes down to. But they add all these extra little issues to divide the people, to make it seem like they're, you know what I'm saying? They put the
right.
They make it seem like they're for anything other than money. But I feel like the government is really just focused on the money, right?
Absolutely.
That's what
the stimulus checks and the plan was meant to go right back into the economy, which is exactly what it did. And people went out and bought Nikes and shrimp dinners and crab legs and shit, and then put down payments on cars, and the economy literally started right back up because of it. So like that wasn't even that was our money that they loaned to us to put back into the economy that they can charge us for later and take back. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some weird ass shit. I don't want a stimulus check to do that. And that is part of what Trump is doing. Like if you take a stimulus check or you take any of this money that's given to you, you have to give it back at some point. And they're going to take it back just as easy as they gave it to you. And
I thought the stimulus, they weren't. The stimulus is really just for you. You don't have to pay it back.
No, you're going to pay it back.
How? What do you mean?
They're going to, it's a, watch, there's going to be a stimulus tax. Like
a 2% really?
Tax. Yeah.
I didn't know that. They're about to add that to everyone working?
Bro, listen, they're going to take back that money of the stimulus check. 100%. 100%.
Wait, I'm saying like you already read this somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I know they're doing for the unemployment. The money that the extra money, we have to pay that back.
I mean, then why were you on unemployment then? like what? Like some people have been on unemployment for the past 6 months and they're gonna have to pay that all the way back?
No, I mean the taxes on that.
Right. Oh, so
well, I don't know. I got mine so that they didn't take taxes out of my unemployment right now. So I'm getting the full my gross unemployment or whatever. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like I definitely need to learn more about like taxes and shit. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm not even
like it's crazy. It's insane the way like this shit works. Like there's so many loopholes and everything, and really it's a game on how to not pay as much and to retain as much. Like it's pretty fucked up because most people don't have the knowledge and they end up funding America because of it. But yeah, like following that debate, aka that debacle bullshit. Yo, shout out to Joe Biden for telling Trump to shut up. Trump was on his ass. Joe Biden should have said at some point "fuck you" or something like that. Like I feel like that would have been like meme worthy all over the world and would have carried. It would have been on shirts and all this stuff. Like he should have said some extreme shit like that. And then literally a day after or the night after, or what was it, 2 nights after, Trump, tweets saying him and the first lady and the aide now and several people in his his party have contracted COVID.
Oh yeah, Conway just got it too.
Yeah. How do you feel about all that?
That's what I'm saying. It sounds super shady. It's on. I feel like no matter what way you look at it, it's
Talk about it.
on
What do
one
you think?
on one hand you could be like, oh, Trump's faking it, so that's why it's weird. I feel like how come, previously, if anyone were even had the chance to have COVID and they were with him, it would be all over the news. You remember that?
Right.
And I remember the headlines back in the day. It would be like a zoomed in picture. It's like Trump possibly has coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. And that was before they knew anything. So how come now all of a sudden they didn't know anything until he tweeted it out himself? You know what I mean?
I don't know. You have a good point.
On one hand, it could be fake. On the other hand, I feel like someone is definitely planting that shit places that he goes or something. No, actually, one of his rallies, I think they found out was a super spreader for corona, right? Like I forget where.
But he just hasn't practiced any kind of real, like, CDC warnings or anything as far as his rallies and all that stuff. He said they were safe. He's, giving misinformation.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I do think it's hilarious that he hasn't said China virus at all since then. He literally called it a plague.
Yeah, dude. He was mad racist with that shit. Like that's it's like so flagrant. It's just hilarious almost. Like he'd be an amazing comedian if he wasn't president. It'd be crazy.
Exactly.
But no, like he definitely had the virus coming to him and everything. And if that is even a real thing. I heard a lot of different, theories that he just didn't want to debate anymore. So he got COVID so that he wouldn't have to debate.
Oh, they're really canceled? His debate is canceled right now?
Yeah. Like, why would you have a debate on national television in proximity with people while you are known to have the virus?
I keep saying Zoom call.
You can't have a debate over a Zoom call. You can't. Like, it's not going to happen. A presidential debate over a Zoom call?
In these times,
nah, it's not happening.
2020, come on, what are you talking about?
It's not happening. It's not happening. I promise you, it's not happening. But I mean, if it does happen, then I'll cash app you $20. but no, I really don't think it's gonna happen. Like I think that's a possibility. I think he might have contracted, quote unquote, corona just so that he could roll out the vaccine he was alluding to in the debate against Biden. Roll that out and
I'm so confused about why does he need to do that? I thought Biden isn't Biden for a vaccine too. Like
Biden is listening to the doctors and stuff, and the doctors are telling Trump and America that there is no viable vaccine yet, and Trump is saying that yes, there is. I have one. Or I have one being developed and all this stuff. And maybe he's going to be the test guinea pig of this vaccine to say how he recovered from it. And now under his presidency, they found a vaccine for this and that, it'll boost his ratings. Maybe, I don't know. And then it could be just that he has coronavirus and, him and his first lady have to go quarantine and be under doctor watch and stuff. There's a lot of different ways to spin it, but I mean, it's pretty weird. It is odd timing for sure, right before the election. I don't know what to really think of it. I know people need to chill out about wishing him death. Like I don't like him or think he's a good president, leader, or even a person, but we can't be like the people we don't like, So like,
have you? This is a throwback. I don't know if you're gonna remember this movie, but have you heard of this movie? It's not religious at all, but it's called The Last Supper. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
It's hilarious. It's like a dark comedy. It has
I love that movie.
Yeah, it has like Courtney or Cameron Diaz, Courtney B. Vance. What's his name? Hellboy. Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
So the whole premise of the movie is like, well, they do it accidentally one time, so then they decide to keep doing it, but they invite someone over and they just ask him like about his like political views and stuff. And if they don't like them, they kill them. Like they poison.
Wow.
They have like a little poison wine, decanter or
Okay.
something, and that's like they decide if he gets the poison one or the regular one.
Wow.
And the whole movie is like hilarious. And I think a lot of people that you're talking about that are like wishing death on people, like a lot of them should watch that movie.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I get the plot and basic sentiment of the movie. It's just a hypocritical standpoint, right? It's a hypocritical way of thinking. Like,
but one question they do bring up in the movie though is if you could go back in time, would you kill Hitler?
Mm-hmm. I think anybody would kill Hitler. I think anybody would kill anybody who will go back in time and stop any mass murderer. I think anybody would do that, or people who ordered that, not before they did it, but not well beyond when they had the influence or power to do so, but like to stop them from doing that. Yeah. Like, I think if Hitler wasn't in power, you would see a lot less, Jews and Americans and people all over the world, Japanese people, Italians, everybody, like they died because of this shit, because of him. And it wasn't just because of him ordering to get certain people out. Like, that's one of the most historic, mass murderers in history. And it's the most recent. So like, obviously, like, yeah, I would definitely go back and do that. Would you?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to start a butterfly effect, right? That's a thing too.
It is a thing.
It might be worse. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I'm not gonna knock anyone for being Jewish. I'm just gonna say, like, for example, isn't there a stereotype that like Jewish people make good tax people, or like you should Jewish person do your taxes, your account? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Stereotype.
Think about that for a second, though. They're the people that are running the taxes. America's all about taxes. Who's really running America?
I mean, I don't know. That's the anti-Semitic like rhetoric and everything.
I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic either.
I know you're not. I know you're not. You're quoting anti-Semitism and everything, but that's the rhetoric and everything that sparked a lot of the belief and everything that was the actual belief. That's why they had to be quote unquote exterminated and everything like that. In itself is what was the cause of a certain kind of uprising, and all you need is a charismatic and poignant and passionate leader to lead people to do insane things. Like, I would definitely go back and change that, because we know what's been the result of it now, not because we don't know what could happen as a result. A lot of people's legacies ended because of that person. Like, a lot of people who had nothing to do with whatever he was talking about, like, so like that's I would change that. I would love to change that.
And also, I just feel like I don't know. What was I going to say? I don't know. I am. That's why I was a little late coming to the show. I was, but I'm just you see what I'm saying. It's like it's hard. I don't know. Maybe am I fucked up for not being able to answer that question? Like that I have to think about it this hard?
No, you're not. It's the butterfly. That was just my rationale on it. It's not so much that what could happen if you did do that. It's what's happened as a result of that person. So if you take that person out of the equation, you could probably prevent that.
I also have a question about a lot of the music industry, because I've heard I haven't had confirmation, but I heard that a lot of the people that run the music industry are also Jewish people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're running the world right now.
I mean, if you want to, I don't know, man. If you want to categorize everybody who runs the world as far as everything, like the richest man in the world is not Jewish. Jeff Bezos is not Jewish. The second richest guy in the world is Jewish. Mark Zuckerberg, is he the second richest guy?
I feel like they could take him down if they needed to.
Really?
as far as through government policies and stuff that are stopping Amazon from getting deals in China or something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's all that shit comes down to.
I mean, but then they're gonna lose. After that, then that's when the political shit starts to get real murky and everything, because all politicians, aside from Bernie Sanders and what he was running for, cater to, you know, big business and big, you know, these Fortune 500 companies and these very wealthy individuals so that they can fund their campaigns. And they implement policy based off of funding that they get from these people. So, like, obviously, if you want to take down these big, you know, corporations and everything, there's going to be pushback. And it's probably why Bernie just happened to disappear out of nowhere with no real, you know, no real reason as to why that happened, because that's what that's about. I don't think that I don't know that it's Jewish people are owning everything in the world. I think Jewish people have been some of the most successful individuals when it comes to banding together and making what they have a profitable endeavor. They go through a lot of shit, just like everybody's race and, you know, origin has some kind of, like, you know, struggle story and everything. I just feel like, you know, you can't fault a certain type of person for being resilient and, you know, successful as a result of it, and not so much as not even so much in the religious sense, just in the type of people and what they're doing in general. I mean, if you're able to start something from 1,000 years ago as a family and maintain that for 1,000 years, yes, you should be able to retain that wealth. How did you not get, you know, lost in history? How did you not get lost in the millennia? How did your family not get, you know, you not go through slavery or some kind of tragedy happen? Like, your lineage, if it lasts for that long, you should be able to retain whatever it is. And that's why, I mean, we can go deeper into, you know, that in regards to Black people being taken from their culture from Africa and everything, and why they can't retain wealth as a result, everything. And that's you know, what we're seeing now is a byproduct and result of that. But that's another conversation. But as far as that, like, yes, because I know what has happened as a result, I would undoubtedly, because I, you know what is at stake and what could be saved, would definitely go back and, you know, smack the shit out of Hitler until he was dead.
True.
So,
I don't know.
That's just me, though.
I'm afraid. I don't know. I don't know what I would change if I could time travel. Like, I would be afraid to change anything. I would just go back just to see certain stuff.
I feel you. Damn, you got corona, bro. Stop hanging out with Trump.
Shut up. I'm not hanging out with Trump.
Hanging out with that guy. Yo, man, like, real talk. I hope they get better. I don't want them to die. I want them to not be the president. You know, that's just it. Like, and, you know, like, he swore in, he knew what he got himself into. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. At some point, like, the rhetoric and the basic morals of people have to differentiate from his and the people who support him if we ever want to undo the damage that his cultural presence has done. And you can't wish and act like the people you despise if you want to really implement change and actually stand for something. Because if your morals are conditional like that, then what do you really stand for? You know what I'm saying?
Here's my whole thing, right? And I went into this a little bit in the last episode too, but I don't feel like I clarified enough, and I probably sounded real dumb for it. But
sure.
First of all, I'm all for free healthcare, right?
Okay.
Anyone would be. That's one of those, like, moral things that you're talking about. It's like it would be immoral to try to vote against healthcare, right? So I feel like that's one of the tactics they use, and to try to make it seem like people really have a choice when they really don't have a choice. It's like, healthcare, yeah, everyone needs it, but people want universal healthcare. And I use Canada because everyone likes to use Canada as an example, right? They have free healthcare, but their healthcare system is really bad. People go to the ER and have week-long wait times, right?
Right. Wow. I didn't know that.
Okay, so mixed. So I'll stop right there. I'm gonna switch tracks real quick, and then there's the whole issue of like what do you call it? Like drug, where they preventative measures for like drug overdoses and stuff.
Sure.
Where they'll give people like free meth pipes and free crack pipes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I went up to Canada.
Safely.
Yeah, I went up to Canada, and they were like giving it out. They had like a little like health fair or something in the street, and they were just giving the shit out, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like I thought about doing that shit because I was like, it's free. All I need is you know what I'm saying? And I was really like,
oh my god.
So, but then okay, so let me skip ahead again. Think about it.
Also, like on top, just to add to Canada, Canadians like pay almost half of their money, half of their income in taxes.
Yeah, their taxes are really high.
It like their actual like healthcare tax is like 42.5%, and that's not on top of like their federal tax or whatever and stuff. Like they pay more than half of their income in taxes for that.
But a lot of people will still end up needing to get private healthcare if they want to be seen right away at an ER. Mm-hmm. But my whole thing is I'm gonna skip ahead again, and let's be real. Let's be real. Like the government placed crack in like the hood and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
That's what they always say, right? That's what I hear. I don't know the facts behind it, but that's what they say during Ronald Reagan or whatever. That's what he did, right? All presidents are doing that shit, right? I feel like that's what it comes down to is like who can get the most drug. I feel like honestly, you know how fentanyl became really popular like within the last couple years as being like really bad for like I feel like they got a bad deal from China or something. They were like, hey, we got this. And then they realized it wasn't what they needed. So they just like put that shit in the streets. And that's why all these people are overdosing from it. Right. So we already know the government is funding these drugs. Right.
Sure.
So I feel like for you to say, oh, it's a moral thing to want healthcare. So let's vote for that. But really what it is the government is buying these drugs. Then they're getting you hooked on it. Then they're making you go to the hospital. You see what I'm saying? It's all
sure.
So I don't know. Did I make my point? Is it clear what I'm saying? Like
you're saying things that basically tie into that everything is like interconnected in a web that benefits off of each other at our detriment, more or less. And I agree with you 1,000%. And that's why when you have these freaking like these busters of like, you know, the conventional, you know, status quo and all this shit, like they're looked at as crazy and shit. Like you can look at shit from like, you know how much like states and the federal government benefit and make money off of the prison industrial system and policing in general.
Exactly.
Which is why when you bring up the idea of defunding, or which I think is a horrible branding name, you should call it reallocating funds for the police. They don't like that because they need people to be in the system and they need crime to be a thing in order to justify having these people hunting down crime. Well, we know that by proxy, crime happens in places where people's needs aren't met, more or less. Like that's really what it is. When people's basic needs aren't able to be met, that's where crime happens the most in the entire world, right? Like petty crime, from robbery, all this stuff. And it's no coincidence that those are the most heavily policed areas as well. So you're creating a cycle of crime within that when you could actually fix the problem with proper healthcare, as you said, education, infrastructure, opportunity, and education in these places that don't have these things. When you implement that, then you can actually start to have people in the community police themselves and hold each other accountable to maintain that status quo. i.e., when you have rich neighborhoods and rich mansion neighborhoods that are gated and everything, you don't see a whole lot of crime in that place, at least from the people that are in there. Why would you? Because you like it where you are and you have everything that you need. Why go get what you need? That's the essence of that. So when you want to break that down and actually create an environment and a system where that isn't needed, it scares people, because then, you know, where are we gonna keep this? How are we gonna keep prisons privatized and everything? How are we gonna benefit off of people being in the system? How are we going to justify, you know, if they do that and they pull somebody over, how do we justify charging them $250 for a speeding ticket and everything, just so we can keep this system going and everything? Like it's like, that's a bad example, but it's like just in general, like it's very, very plain and obvious that, you know, the prison industrial system employs and does a lot for the government, and they don't want that to change in general. And that just goes on with what you were saying before, as far as, you know, it's just being an interconnected web. You got to have these.
They don't want it to change. They want it to be this constant cycle. Both the parties want it to be this constant cycle.
And this is why I can't fault you for not wanting to vote. Can't do it. I can't fault you at all. It's like it's a. Are we really going to see change or anything if they're based off of what we're doing? Because we're voting for the same monster. It just has two heads. Or are we going to, you know, put up with the less DOS, or the, you know, the lesser of two evil heads? It's really what you want to, you know, what you want to do for the next 4 years. That's
what I'm saying. Like that's what. Is it really about the 4 years, or is it about what happens after that too? Like, could that really change based on these next 4 years? Because you're like, oh, if Trump gets elected, he's not going anywhere or something after that. Like, he's talking about maybe we should do a third term or shit like that. Like, do you think he could really have that much change in the 4 years?
Absolutely.
That's the thing. I feel like that's why I really like the Libertarian Party, because they want less federal government, from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't have these kind of powers to do that. Because I don't know. That's why I don't know who to trust. That's why it's
you're not wrong, and if you don't know who to trust, then you already know who not to trust. So like
exactly.
Like it's you're not wrong in any of that shit, man. I think it is an interconnected web of, you know, lies and deceit, and, you know, profiting off of people's, you know, suffering in a lot of ways. And I understand that. And, you know, when my kid looks at social media, because he's 12 now. You remember him when he was 2.
Zay? I don't know if I should take his name out of here. I didn't know.
No, Zay's cool. Like, that's fine. Shout out to my boy. Yeah, man. Like, he's gonna be on, you know, Instagram and stuff and everything. He's gonna be influenced by who the president of the United States is and stuff, and the rhetoric around it and the culture and stuff. And I commend Trump in one thing and one thing only, and that's you know, exposing the very ugly underbelly of a lot of people and ideas in America. And that's on both sides, on the people who support him, and now when people have much lower hanging fruit while he's sick, the people who oppose him, because now you can see the nastiness on both sides, just if it fits what they believe in their narrative. And there's a lot of vengeful thinking and just acting and stuff in general based off of just the whole situation between, you know, what is deemed the left and right. And yeah, like it makes you not want to really choose. And I get that. It makes you not want to choose for something that, you know, nobody else really stands for. There was a lot of people I marched with on Black Lives Matter protests, right? You know, which is a protest about stopping police brutality and holding officers accountable for shooting and killing unarmed Black people, which is, you know, not all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. And I genuinely believe that. And we went and marched and we got pepper sprayed and all this shit. And like we got, you know, we confronted police and all this stuff. It was tense. It was scary shit and everything. But we're doing that and everything, and we're occupying places in town and everything. And, you know, change is happening as a result of that. and then they turn right around and discredit everything that they are doing by cheering on the death of a person because they don't like them or agree with them, or that they put too much stake in, the leadership of somebody in their personal life and their beliefs. Like it's hypocritical, and people really need to take time and check themselves and see what they really stand for and what they really like view as, what's moral. I don't think you can stand for anything and have selective morality. You can't do it. If your morality is, it's conditional, what do you stand for? Like, I don't wish death on anybody. And like, why? Like for what reason?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like even back, 4 years ago when Trump first got elected, and everyone was like, I mean, literally for the next, like, even until now, like for the next 4 years, all anyone was doing on Facebook was like bashing Trump. That's like, you know what I'm saying? There's all these memes and shit, and it's like, at some point,
he's easily bashable.
It just got old, and it's like,
right. Like if we're being objective, like he sets himself up. Like he thinks he's a victim, but he's not. Like he sets himself up, and
he's still like a celebrity, basically. Like they treat him like a celebrity. Yeah.
Right. So like, and that's how he acts. So like, he's gonna get the attention he garners. But like, yeah, like we got to be able to call a spade, and be able to like look objectively at stuff and everything. And he has gotten his ass tore up in the media and everything for the past 5 years now. What's up, my love?
I have heard the argument that like, it's counterintuitive or counterproductive to be tolerant of the intolerant.
Right, but I've heard that too, and then you have to have that blanket statement again. Like, what do you stand for? Because if you can be intolerant of the intolerant, then you are intolerant. Like it's that simple.
Exactly. I feel that way too, but sometimes I do feel like, is it the wrong thing? Like, should people?
Oh, I understand people's dislike of him. I understand people's disdain of him. I understand that he's opened up a large portion of the cynic and racism and sexism and all this stuff in people. He's implemented stuff that has changed certain people's lives. He didn't take coronavirus seriously and all that stuff. And it's funny in an ironic way that he didn't take it seriously and he got it now. He even mocked people for getting it.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't seem like, I don't know. He said he seems to be doing well. Like he thinks he's going to recover. I feel like it's only going to reinforce the fact that he thinks it's a hoax once he comes out of it alive.
But we don't know that. We don't know.
You're right. We don't. But I'm just saying they don't seem to be worried about it. Like,
and they wouldn't put out that message if he was in trouble. He could very well, we haven't seen or heard from Trump in a few days and everything, and that's the first time that's happened in a while. For all we know, he could be on a ventilator right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you wouldn't know that. Like, they're not for his plan and what he has going. Nonetheless, it's not up to us to play, judge, jury, and executioner, especially in a moral way about somebody. You cannot want him to lead us, and you could not want him to be our president and everything. And I'm all with you on that. Like, I feel you, but like, there's a lot of hate, fear, dismissiveness, and just conditional feeling when it comes to Trump that he's opened up in a lot of people, and they need to check themselves about that.
But also, that's kind of, I feel like that's what I like about him though, because he does bring out how people really are. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, I like that.
Back in the day when it was all the racist people coming out and shit, like I would rather know that you're racist than like have it be a secret and you doing shit behind my back. Like, at least now I know not to fuck with you anymore because of this. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, yeah, and now it's like he's doing it, but to the other side this time. It's like making you realize, oh well, how moral are you really if this is how you feel? You know what I'm saying? And so I like that. That's what I'm saying. He's like he's turning everything around. Like
he's making you check. He's making you have to check yourself. He's making you have to like literally like see where you stand. And to go off of more what that argument that you were saying that you've heard, and I've heard it too, about like it's counteractive. It's actually it's not okay to not be malicious towards your oppressor or whatever, all that dumb shit. We know better, straight up. If we know better, you should do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because that person wished death on you doesn't mean that you go and do Hammurabi's code or that eye for an eye shit, saying all that stuff. At what point do you say, I'm better than this, or we are better than this? You've been preaching it and fighting against it for the past 4 years, and you turn right around. And then when the opportunity sprouts up, you say, hey, let me go ahead and act just like the people I hate. Like, it's low hanging fruit, and you got to be better. You got to think about this shit. Like,
my whole thing is, I feel like it's okay. I feel like I get it. Like, I agree. You shouldn't tolerate. Wait, what is it? You shouldn't tolerate the intolerant, but there's like a time and a place to do it. You can't just do it right away. You're at the bottom still. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta like kill them with kindness till you reach the top. Then when you're at a point that you can really do something about it is when you do it. You can't just like
it's not even like living. Look, love and compassion is not an easy thing all the time. It's not. It's a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing and moral to stand by. Like loving somebody even from afar and everything, and having compassion from somebody even from afar, and living by that principle is not always an easy thing, because you have to implement that above, even when shit's coming at you or it directly affects you or it wasn't reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can always affect and be in control of what we are able to put out into the world. And if we have the audacity to denounce and be fearful of and not like certain rhetoric or actions and stuff, at the very, very core, we can't be hypocritical and do that same stuff when an opportunity comes up, just because it might fit our narrative. It's just that simple. It's not even chess, it's checkers, bro. Like, if you want to undo the moral and mindset that President Trump has implemented and put in place, you can't act like him when the tables are turned. You can't act like him and his followers. It's just like we have to. I mean, it's cliche, but Michelle Obama said it too. Like, they go low, you just stay high. Like, you're gonna come out better as a result of it anyways. So, like, people do fucking better, man. Like, stop fucking wishing death on people. Go outside, get off the internet. Like, go play some basketball or something, bro. Like, stop all that bullshit. Like, seriously, it's weird. Like,
I don't know. I'm still torn on that because it still sounds like that they got you to be complacent. Is that the word?
Oh, me? No, complicit?
No, complacent. Is that not a word?
No, complacent's a word. No, like, I'm not complacent.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, by being like, oh, let's be tolerant. That's like where that's what they want you to do, because then it still keeps you down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
look, whatever the powers that be may be, you can't, if you stand by certain principles and have a mindset, those powers that be can't take that away from you, regardless of what they think of it.
I don't know. I'm very pessimistic, and I feel like you have that whole like love wins mentality, but I feel like sometimes it doesn't always. This is how I feel.
I want to be remembered, bro. That's a very, very arrogant thing of me, and I know that, and I realize that, and that's a very egotistical thing of me. that I need to get over. But I'm feeding my ego by also trying to implement a way of life and lifestyle and everything. So it's a symbiotic relationship in that sense. So even though the source is selfish, it benefits people and it benefits myself in the way, we live. You got to be better at some point, man. That's just it. Like it's really that. Like Trump sucks as a human being. So do you want to be the same? Like love does win, bro. I don't have to talk. I haven't talked to you in like the longest times and everything, and we're still cool, and we don't even like agree on everything. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you got to be able to see people for who they are, practice emotional literacy, be mindful of how you come out to people, and just stand on your principles. I don't think that's a hard thing to do, and it makes me feel very isolated nowadays being like that, because like I feel like everybody is, or maybe that's just how it is on the internet and stuff, because I don't have these problems in person with people. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like on the internet, people like to talk a lot. Like I don't know, I don't want to call anyone out, but there are some people. Just like you were talking about how you felt like Cardi B was exposed for not really knowing what she was talking about. I feel like a lot of these people on Facebook, they seem like they are supposedly the more on the moral high ground, but they are not acting with love. What's up?
They're self-serving.
Yeah, like not even that. It's just like I don't know. Sometimes that's when I really like. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm not big into politics or anything like that, but like a lot of the times it's like I don't even want to say it. They're gonna cancel me.
No, say it, bro. You better say that shit.
I can see why people say like the word libtards. You know what I'm saying? I can see why they say that shit sometimes.
Dude, if like these names and things were created for a reason. It's it's a blanket statement for I would say a majority of people, like regardless of what side you're on and stuff. But like it's more so it's this people who rely on meme culture to get their information in the world,
and they're like the ones that are spreading more hate than the person that they claim they hate. I feel like
no, they are.
That's what really made me like even more so like not even want to vote, is because like I don't want to empower these people that are now the ones that are being the super hateful ones.
It's people got to really start to feel like they got to start to stand for something, bro. That's just really what it is. Like, and what you're describing is people who don't stand for shit. They just ride the wave. It's the high school, social hierarchy living out into people's adult lives over the internet. And it's like whatever's popular, whatever's booming and everything. That's what everybody's catered to. But they don't really. Most people don't really stand for shit.
That's what I'm saying. They just jump on the I hate Trump train. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and like you act like you're so much better just because you're supposedly morally whatever. I don't whatever the word it was.
And now
try to make me feel like shit, but it's like you guys are fucking being super intolerant over here.
Now, right. And now and take this how you want to and everything, but like I'm gonna shoot some people bail and everything on that, because people should expect their president to be better than them in some ways. Not like I think a president on just a basic level is a human. Therefore, they're no better or worse than me and everything. And that's why I can objectively look at what Trump is. I understand that like he shouldn't be there. Obviously, he's a dumbass piece of shit. But like at the end of the day, like I think people want to see somebody who has semblance of being better than them in a sense. So if they can feel empowered by trying to belittle or feel better than somebody they thought they were better, that was better than them, that's why you see this clash of like this egotistical shit and of people being wishing certain things on Trump and everything, but turn around and, send on a moral high horse about other shit and act like it's, it's justified. Like these people, like you said, the libtards, you fucking liberal, dumb piece of shit who don't know shit. Like if you're liberal and you know shit, obviously that doesn't fucking apply to you, but you dumb motherfuckers who don't know shit, you're a libtard. And you need to understand that. You need to actually do your research and everything and actually stand on some kind of moral that can't be shaken if you claim to, support or denounce certain things. It's just that simple, bro. Like you're not wrong for calling a spade a spade. Like,
all right. I feel like you're being way too nice, but I feel like
I just called you dumb liberal motherfuckers who don't know shit, some dumbass retarded bitch ass motherfuckers.
No, I meant you were being too nice to me right now for like.
Nah, man. Nah. You're right though, man. People look, know your shit if you're gonna have an opinion, and then stand on whatever it is you stand on.
Exactly, and that's why I'm not. That's also why I'm not voting, because honestly, like I don't know a lot of my shit. Like I could have this conversation based on like what I know in the news, but like it's deeper than that, and there is more research involved. Like I was actually trying to look up like issues and shit, like you know what I'm saying, right. And I feel like that's not even what people are talking about. They're just talking about what they see on TV.
Right. No, it's regurgitated information and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Hey, you know what I just started watching again?
What?
With me and my lady? Breaking Bad.
I haven't I watched one episode of that, and then
it's the greatest TV of all time. You need to smoke a blunt or two and just watch like the first few episodes of that shit.
Yeah, I heard that if I watched the second episode, I definitely would have been hooked. But the first episode didn't make me want to watch the second one.
Yeah, like I said what's coming out soon, bro? Like what's on? I need some recommendations on Netflix, Hulu and all this shit. Like what's supposed to be popping instead of these
first of all, you need to watch that movie that I was just telling you about, The Last Supper. Watch it. That movie is so good. I always forget about it when I'm coming up with my list of like my top movies, but I would say it's in between 5 and 10 of my top movies. I'm not sure where, because I forget about a lot, but as of right now, yeah, my top 5 off the top of my head. It's in my top 5.
What do you think about when do you think Kendrick's gonna drop his new album? Are you even a Kendrick fan?
I was a fan back in the day, but anything he did after Mad City, I didn't like.
Okay. Well, I think he's brilliant.
Is Pool Full of Liquor on that one?
Yeah.
I didn't like that single. I like that. No. Let me take that back. I did like To Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp a Butterfly to me was one of the greatest conceptual albums of all time. It was crazy.
What was the one after? Did he go to the Black Panther one after that?
He did Damn right after that. He did Damn after that in 2017, and then the Black Panther soundtrack in 2018.
Yeah, I don't think I like Damn as much. That's when I stopped listening to him. But
I like Damn a lot. I liked all of his stuff a lot.
He definitely has one coming out soon.
I think he said that it was in the final phases of being completed like earlier on this year, and then he'd be putting it out soon. He had some like odd like rock influences and stuff in it and everything. So like I'm interested to see it because like every time he comes out, he kind of like stops shit and people really listen and notice of what it is, because it's like these long gaps between albums, but all of them are so poignant and like just like telling stories of culture and stuff. Like Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly are taught in Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly are taught in like colleges and universities and stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like it's like they do social commentary on that. Yeah, and Fed.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm having
Now you're good. What about this?
Um,
You listen to this 21 Savage album, Savage
I
Mode?
heard about it. I have not
It's
heard.
amazing.
I'm actually gonna probably listen to it right now. After we get on here, because I definitely want to get up on some new music. Me and my homie just completed a project that I think is going to smack bitches and people in general in the head.
Okay,
It's so
okay.
good. It's a 11 track EP, and I'm just saying this for the first time now. Called damn, what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm still high as shit. It's an 11 track EP called Overdue, and it's
Is that DUE or DO?
it's DUE/DO.
Oh, okay. I like
Yeah,
it. I like it.
yeah. So
That's really how
that'll
you
be
spell it with a
yeah,
slash.
yep,
Okay.
yeah. So it'll be coming out pretty soon. It's pretty much done, minus a master, and it's me and my homie Psych Montano. We got a few features on there, engineered by Lido Beats. I've been working with him ever since 2013, and he's the best engineer in Central Florida. Period. Like he just goes to fucking. But yeah, dude, this will be my sixth project total, in total, like actual full length project that I've came out with, and this is gonna be like I'm actually happy about this shit. Like I'm happy. I'm not like, oh shit, there could have been anything else or whatever. It's actually like really fucking good, and I can't wait for everybody to hear that.
When is it supposed to come out?
Uh, it's supposed to come out the beginning of January.
Next year.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that and what's it called? Have you heard of Kambata?
I have not. Who's that?
So Kambata is on Kendrick level for me and everything, as far as just raw talent and intellectual rapping. His knowledge is insane. His rapping ability is insane. I think he's part of the Mellow Music group. I believe he just got signed to them, but he's based out of Tampa. He's from New Haven, Connecticut. He's up in New York right now, and he's done a lot of stuff with artists around here and everything. I have a track with him, but he's insanely good. Like it's almost unfair. I encourage everybody who listens to look up Kambata, Cambatta. Listen to him and have your mind blown. Like I can't compare anybody even on a local or industry level to this cat. He's on another level in a different universe than we all are.
I'll check it out. What's the name of the best project or song of his that I should look up?
I mean, he has a pretty dope discography altogether. I don't know. I would say probably Lunar.
Start at the beginning.
Start at the beginning. Like, okay, so I mean, you can go. Yeah, like it's amazing, bro. Like I'm looking at his stuff right now, man. The latest thing he put out was the Lunar Solar Duality LSD.
Okay.
Very metaphysical, heavy into like the theory of religion. Just an insane artist. Like heavily recommended. It's gonna be better than most shit that you ever hear.
All right, I'm gonna definitely check it out. You're definitely hyping it up.
Word, no, I'm telling you, man. Like it's crazy shit. But like, I think we're finna bounce. I'm looking forward to this debate next week. I want to do our earlier pod and try and like talk about that. Just
that's what I'm saying. Are you gonna be free like Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday? All right.
Will.
Sounds good. So I'm gonna see you next week. Remind everyone where they can find you at.
You can find me everywhere. Music is Albert J Music 813. That's everywhere that's streaming live on music. And also you can find me Instagram, Albert J Music 813, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit. I'm active, baby.
Awesome. And for everyone else, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks so much, Albert J, for coming back again.
You already know, bro. You the fan.
See you.